Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 15th, 2026 Eugene City Council public hearing. Thank you for joining us in this hybrid meeting format tonight. Anyone wishing to access the meeting can do so by watching the live stream available on our website, the broadcast on Comcast Channel 21, or by following the instructions listed for this meeting on the public webcast and meetings materials page of the City of Eugene website. There are 3 public hearings on tonight's agenda, and please note that members of the public who signed up to testify may speak only to the topic that is the subject of the stated hearing. For those wishing to testify during the public hearing, please fill out a request to speak form available on the city's public webcasts and meetings materials webpage. And these requests to speak forms will be used to generate the order of speakers and correctly enter speakers' names into the public record. And we will be accepting requests to speak forms until 5:35 p.m. this evening. As a reminder, Council's meeting rules of conduct apply to all attendees, both in the chambers and in the lobby, and include no flags, signs, loud or disruptive language, noise, or conduct that obstructs the business of the council. Please keep the room quiet and respectful for all speakers, and you are welcome to wave your hands in silent support. Additionally, we encourage all those who are ill or who have had close contact with others who are ill to join our meetings remotely rather than in person. And we also encourage attendees to spread out within the meeting space and wear a mask if you're comfortable doing so. We have some available in the lobby if you need one. In case of a medical emergency, an automated external defibrillator, an AED, is located on the counter behind staff to the left or on the west side of this room. And in case of emergency evacuation, emergency exits are through the double doors located near the back of the room and the double doors near the front of the room, and the doors to the patio can also be used as needed. And with that, I call this meeting to order. The first public hearing on tonight's agenda is a public hearing granting an exemption from the application of Section 6.200 of the Eugene Code 1971 and providing for a sunset date. City Manager, would you please introduce the topic?
Thank you, Mayor. The proposed ordinance would provide a 5-year exemption from the Eugene Code permitting members from the River to Ridges Partnership, including the Bureau of Land Management, the Nature Conservancy, and city staff from Public Works, Parks, and Open Space to continue conducting prescribed ecological burns up to 300 acres per year within the City of Eugene city limits. This exemption would continue in effect through December 31st, 2030.
Thank you. I now open the public hearing, and just passing 5:35, if the time on my watch is correct with staff. Staff, could you please share the list of speakers on screen and announce the first speakers for this hearing?
Thank you, Mayor. There are no speakers for this public hearing item.
Thank you. Then I now close the public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from City Council? Seeing none, we will move on to the second public hearing on tonight's agenda, which is a public hearing on an ordinance concerning polystyrene and single-use bag regulations. City Manager, would you please introduce this topic?
In response to new statewide legislation relating to the polystyrene foam, food containers and packaging peanuts, and single-use checkout bags, code changes are proposed to align the city's regulations with these new state laws. The council deliberations and actions are scheduled for July 13th.
Thank you, City Manager. I now open the public hearing. And staff, can you please share a list of speakers on the screen and announce the first speakers?
Thank you, Mayor. There are no speakers for this public hearing item.
Thank you, staff. I now close that public hearing. And are there any questions or comments from City Council? Seeing none, we will move on to our third public hearing on tonight's agenda, which is a public hearing on an ordinance concerning housing production incentives. And City Manager, would you please introduce the topic?
This public hearing is an opportunity for the public to provide comments on the proposed ordinance enabling 2 new housing production incentives. The 2 proposed property tax exemption programs aim to support, 1, the production of moderate income housing along transit corridors, and 2, the creation of housing in commercial centers. The programs emerged out of the city's urban growth strategies effort to address the city's need for 26,000 new homes over the next 20 years.
Thank you, City Manager. I now open the public hearing. Staff, can you please share a list of speakers on the screen and announce the first speakers?
Thank you, Mayor. If I can be provided with just a minute of your time, and I will get that list ready.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. If you have signed up to speak via Zoom, please take this time to ensure that your screen name in Zoom includes your last name and matches the name you used to sign up to speak. If your screen name does not match, we cannot allow you to speak when it is your turn. I will announce 2 speakers' names at a time. When you are called to speak, please state your name and your ward or neighborhood, if known, before beginning your comments. If you are providing testimony via Zoom, when it is your turn, we will announce your name and allow you to speak. If you are announced as the next speaker and physically in the room, please move up to the seat in the front row designated for the next speaker. When it is your turn, you may come to the podium. Please leave any bags you may have with you at your seat. If you have documents to give counsel, please place them in the basket near the podium. You will have 2.5 minutes to speak. The timer will flash red when you have 15 seconds remaining to speak. Your microphone will be muted at the 2.5-minute mark. Please note that use of profanity is not permitted. Our 2 speakers are Sylvia Berry and Larissa Ennis.
Good evening, Mayor, City Councilors, and City leadership. First, thank you for your dedication. My name is Sylvia Berry. I live in Ward 5. My office is in Ward 1, and I work with partners in every ward of the city. So I sincerely appreciate each and every one of yours commitment and hard work. Over the past 4 years, I have been working with an incredible group of community members to address our housing and homelessness crisis. What started as research and conversations evolved into a truly cross-sector coalition called Act Now Lane, with 45 partners and growing, including businesses, government, nonprofits, healthcare, individuals with lived experience, and many more, all working together to reduce the number of community members who are unhoused. As someone who has spent my entire career in the nonprofit sector, I thought I knew something about the homelessness crisis. But while staffing this coalition, I have learned a tremendous amount. Most importantly, that you cannot talk about homelessness without talking about our housing crisis. As the council is well aware, Oregon has underbuilt for decades. Research shows that our high rents and low vacancy rates have contributed to some of the highest rates of homelessness in the nation. And if we want to reduce the number of tents on the streets and the nearly 1,500 individuals backlogged at our shelters right now, we have to build more housing. In fact, almost every key stakeholder that we've talked to over the last few years, from shelter providers to law enforcement, have all urged us to focus on building more housing. So our group is working hard to find land, funding, cost-effective models, process improvements, etc. However, we need you to take action on 3 things. 1, please support the housing production incentives and tax exemption programs being discussed tonight. 2, please schedule a public hearing regarding the Moderate Income Revolving Loan Fund as soon as possible. And 3, please support creative and thoughtful examples that combine affordable and workforce housing like the 1059 Willamette Street project. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sylvia. Next, we will hear from Larissa Enos, followed by Joe Liebersbach.
Good evening. Thank you, Council and Mayor Knudsen, for this opportunity to speak. My name is Larissa Ennis, and I live in Ward 7. I'm currently Senior Manager of Development and Communications at Food for Lane County. My comments tonight do not reflect the views of my employer. I'm here tonight speaking as Chair of the Board of Commissioners of Homes for Good, Lane County's affordable housing agency. I'm also a member of the Steering Committee for Action L Lane, which you've just heard quite a lot about. And like thousands of neighbors across our community, I have lived experience of homelessness. Thank you to the Council and Mayor for considering a suite of strategic investments to accelerate local housing production. As you know, our crisis is fundamentally driven by an inadequate supply of housing at all income levels. I'm here to encourage Council to implement incentives for housing production. I will illustrate the necessity of such investments with a recent example. In late April, Homes for Good celebrated the grand opening of Ollie Court on 13th Avenue. At Ollie Court, 80 units of affordable family housing are co-located with an early childhood education center. That project would not have been feasible without multiple strategic investments by the City of Eugene, among many other sources of funding. First, the city conveyed the land to Homes for Good, and then the City of Eugene invested more than $3 million in development resources to enable the creation of this residential community, including home and city fee assistance funds. I can say with confidence that Ollie Court likely would not have been built if not for those strategic investments. And I'm excited to say that as of June 1st-ish, every unit in Ollie Court is fully leased up. That's 163 bedrooms. A beautiful new early education center is lively with children learning and playing, and 80 families are secure every night and able to dream of what happens in their tomorrows. Many development projects will only be greenlit with the support of tax incentives and additional investments from the city. For example, the 1059 Willamette project, I'm very in favor of that. We also request that Council prioritize scheduling a public hearing for the proposed Middle Income Revolving Loan Fund, which will support affordable home ownership that is so desperately needed. The incentives that Council is considering over the coming weeks are necessary parts of our community's robust and innovative response to the housing crisis. These tools and more are needed to accelerate the housing development our community needs. Thank you for supporting these investments.
Thank you, Larissa. Next, we will hear from Joe Liebersbach, followed by Hope Baker.
Good evening, Mayor Knudsen, City Council, City staff. My name is Joe Liebersbach, and I'm a lifelong Lane County resident, and I've called the Eugene area home for over 15 years. First, I also want to thank you for all of your huge, fantastic enthusiasm from the February work session on these incentives. Tonight, I'm asking you to carry that same energy forward. Because for too many, our housing crisis isn't abstract policy discussions or a dashboard or numbers on a spreadsheet. This is what our housing crisis is. It means parents are considering leaving their job to be able to afford both rent and childcare month to month. It means doubling or sometimes tripling up siblings or other loved ones in the available bedrooms of a home. It means living further from our workplaces, increasing our carbon emissions during our commute to work. My own family fits into multiple of these categories. As a young father and early in my professional career, I often think about what it will take for my children to be able to live their lives right here in this community too. Even helping one project move forward can help create homes for dozens of families, and tonight's action might feel technical, but its impact will quite literally be felt for generations. These buildings can house family after family after family, providing stability and a place to build a future. We know Eugene needs to dramatically increase our housing production. You know the numbers, you've seen all the reports. I simply want to emphasize the urgency of this need. These incentives are not the entire solution, but they are an important step. Lastly, as you consider this action, I would simply ask that you remember that we're not just talking about dwelling units, we're talking about people's homes. These are homes, places of refuge, places of stability, places where people can build a future here in our community. I urge you to invest in my future, my peers' future, our entire community's future by supporting these housing production incentives and help create more homes for the people who want to call Eugene home.
Thank you, Joe. Next, we will hear from Hope Baker. If there is not a Hope Baker in the room, if you are an attendee, I ask at this time that you change your name if you are Hope Baker, so we can allow you to talk. Next, we will hear from our final speaker, Hope Baker. Hope Baker, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Hope, we can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry to take so long. I don't know what happened or why it took so long, but I apologize. Am I still, you can still have audio?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to speak. I live in Ward 2. I'm in favor of incentives for affordable housing, even lower middle income housing. But the people who build lower affordable housing and lower income housing are usually agencies such as Homes for Good, and other nonprofit organizations. People in their backyards are not building affordable housing. I'm opposed to more property tax exemptions because the city already can't balance its budget. I've asked for report backs on the existing MUPDs for all the multi-story, multi-unit structures all along Franklin Boulevard and up some of Patterson. Never gotten a report back. I've never heard one. We don't know how many MUPDs for these multi-unit structures are still on the books. We don't know how many have been extended. We don't know the tax revenue loss from these MUPDs, yet you want to now extend this program to basically, you say along transportation corridors. There's all kinds of single-family dwellings along transportation corridors that have room for maybe an ADU in the backyard. I mean, talking about the larger transportation corridors like Franklin Boulevard, it's kind of a commercial area, so it's not quite as impactful on neighborhoods. I have a a middle housing development on my back fence. They've been working on it for over a year. The site prep itself is extensive. The amount of now I wouldn't call it remodeling of the existing structure, but the change that they did to the existing structure they have spent so much money on this. These things will never be on the market for under $800,000. So I just am not in favor of giving individual property owners tax exemptions for more housing. Thank you.
Thank you, Hope. Mayor, that was our final speaker.
Thank you, staff. I now close the public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the City Council? Councilor Groves.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everybody that spoke tonight. For staff, do we have any information on MUPTs? Are there any active MUPTs on Franklin Boulevard? Or I know the current program only applies to the downtown and the riverfront.
Good evening, City Councilors and Mayor. I'm Amanda D'Souza, Development Programs Manager in Community Development. Currently, in the MUPTI program, after it was revised in 2015, student housing is not eligible. So any project that has been built after 2015 has not received a MUPTI. There are a couple that were built prior to then that we do have data on, but that was all pre-2015.
That's what I thought. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from other city councilors? And councilors who are joining us remotely, please raise your hand if you'd like to offer a comment. I will just offer an observation that there have been a handful of times in recent years where I have spoken with residents in our community who assume that the larger apartment buildings on Franklin Boulevard and student housing that's been developed recently in the past just few years along Franklin Boulevard are projects that have received multi-unit property tax exemptions from the City of Eugene. And as was just clarified by staff, that has not been a component of this program since 2015, and those projects have not received MUPTI or tax exemptions. And while there's a larger conversation to be had about change property ratio and taxation related to new investment and development in our community that I hope will happen with other bodies at the state level, it's important for people to understand where that program has been utilized and where it has not. And in that case, it has not been a component of those projects moving forward. Seeing no other questions or comments from council, then I will say thank you, and that closes this public hearing and concludes our agenda for today. And I now close the June 15th, 2026 public hearing, and we are adjourned.